So good evening to everyone. Everyone, am I audible to you? Okay, fine. So I hope everyone ready to learn it, right? Okay. So let me give an introduction about this topic. So this is one of the topic of geometry. So you might have studied these things in your school days. And so if you are worrying about your quant preparation, I give you assurance. If you are back to your school, you'll be able to do the calculation because the topics which we are going to discuss, which you are going to solve in your GRE, are all school mathematics, right? So hardly from 6th standard to 10th standard. So even if we take geometry, we learn it from the basics, right? So that will give you the logic, and also your learning supposed to be cumulative. What do you mean by cumulative? If you have started to solve your statistics, you know the meaning of the cumulative. So first you have to learn the first chapter and the second chapter and the third chapter. But so the chapters will have the relationship between the each and everything. So your learning is supposed to be like that. So you, before going to the second chapter, you need to learn the first chapter. As well as before going to the third one, you need to be clear with your first two topics. So similarly, I tell you one thing. So in geometry, if you are clear with the basics from the first chapter, you'll be able to solve the question on the second chapter if you just go through the things. So always make yourself very cumulative study, especially in the geometry. So coordinate geometry will have a two different category that we are going to discuss. What do you mean by coordinate geometry? What we are actually going to do? So we know what do you mean by geometry. It is discussing about the diagram. So if it is diagram, we have a two category. One is 2 dimension and another one is 3 dimension. But in coordinate geometry, we are going to discuss 2 dimension geometry. What do you mean by 2 dimensional geometry? It's a plane geometry. The object which you can draw on a board is called plane geometry. For example, rectangle, square, lines, pentagon, polygon. These are all called plane geometry that we are going to discuss in the form of how to plot a graph, how to plot a line, how to plot a parabola. So these kind of things we are going to discuss in coordinate geometry 1. Okay, hope you got an introduction. Now, as I said, so the coordinate geometry can be two different types. One is 2 dimension, another one is 3 dimension. So third 3 dimension is out of scope. So we are majorly focusing on the 2 dimension. For 2 dimension, we are going to discuss the basic axis, the x-axis and y-axis. If you see, the axes are nothing but a real line. What do you mean by real line? The number which will have from 0 to 1. For example, the number starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. It will go on the y-axis top. Here it will be -1, -2, -3, and so on. Similarly, x-axis you can mark the value. So based on these value, you are going to make a coordinate. So for a coordinate geometry, the reference axes are x-axis and y-axis. So x-axis is a horizontal line and y-axis is a vertical line. This is a basic information. Hope everyone remember this, right? Now, what do you mean by quadrant? Based on the line and its quality, the positive and negative, we will be able to locate the point. Where is the point going to lie? If you have a point, and remember, so in the coordinate geometry, the points are represented in the form of x comma y. What do you mean by x? The value which is supposed to mark from the x-axis, and y represents the value which you supposed to get it from y-axis. If my point is 2 comma 3, where it is going to lie? So it's going to start from 2 here and 3 here, and the meeting point is called the position of the coordinate. So if the two x and y values are positive, it will comes in the first quadrant. So basically the quadrant will be divided into 4 quadrants. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. In the first quadrant, so both x and y is positive. Yeah, it's a positive. X and y are positive. And in the second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. Okay. And in the third quadrant, so your x value is negative, y value is positive. So these value how we are getting? We are getting from here 2, 3, 4, and -1, -2, -3, and here it will be 1, 2, 3. So based on these, we are marking the reference value. And in the fourth quadrant, okay, I think yeah, here it is minus. Okay, here x will be positive and y will be negative. Okay, so this is a way you can mark it. So this is a simple observation. You can directly get the x-axis reference value. You can mark the value. Okay, everyone clear with this? This is general information, and the important one is the origin. So 0 comma 0. So let me give an example for this. So here the points will be like this: 2 comma minus 4. Here the points will be like this: minus 4 comma minus 3. So here the points will be like this: minus 3 comma 4. So these are the examples for the coordinate point. So once we got the coordinate, what is the next one? So how to plot a point? As I said, you are going to take the corresponding value from A and B. That is, you are going to mark it as a coordinate point. For example, if I want to mark some 3 comma 2, then I need to fix 3 in the x-axis and 2 on the y-axis. The corresponding point going to be the coordinate point. And similarly, if it is negative value, it will comes, both are negative, it will comes in the third quadrant. So minus C comma minus D. So based on that, you can directly take the values. Okay. So I hope you are aware about this, right? So how to plot a point. Now, what do you mean by the distance between the 2 points? So the distance between the 2 points is nothing but the possible straight line. The straight line which is going to connect the 2 points is called the distance between the 2 points. Precisely, you can say what is the length of the straight line that's going to connect the 2 points. So the distance is given by x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square, or precisely you can take x1 minus x1. Since we are going to take a square of the value, so you don't need to worry which one you have to take, whether x2 minus x1 or x1 minus x2. You can take the difference of the two coordinates and square the value. This will give you the distance between the 2 points. Okay, everyone clear? And you should be very careful when there is a negative sign. So you should consider the negative sign. Based on that, you have to calculate the value. For example, so what is the distance between the 2 points? If it is 6 comma 4, and this will be minus 4 comma minus 2. So what is the distance between the 2 points? Good. Palash, your answer is correct. Good, Mukesh. Fine, let me give you the answer for this one. It is a very simple one. So what we are going to do? We are going to substitute in the formula. You will get the answer. Exactly. So the formula is square root of, you are going to take absolute difference. So 6 comma 6 minus of minus 4. So this point you should be very careful. So it is minus of minus 4. You should not write 6 minus 4 plus and 4 minus of minus 2, the whole square. So after simplification you will get the value. So this is going to be minus of minus, this is going to be 10 square. So that is 100. This is 4 minus of minus 2. That means 4 plus 2. So that will be 6. 36. So answer is square root of 36. Okay. You can directly get the value by substituting in the formula. Okay. The next thing is midpoint of the line. What do you mean by midpoint? So midpoint is nothing but if you are going to define a 2 points and you are going to draw a line that connects the 2 points, then what is the midpoint for that line? That is called midpoint of the line. So which is given by the average x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. So if it is negative sign, we have to consider that. So these are the general formula. Okay, hope everyone remember this. Now it is an important one. What do you mean by slope of the line? So the slope of the line is nothing but so how deviated the line from the x-axis, that is called slope of the line. For example, so I'm going to compare it. So by visualizing that, you could answer the question. So what going to be the slope of the two lines? So can you compare the two lines? What is the slope? AB and CD. It may not be possible if you are not clear with the concept, but what is the basic logic of the slope? The slope is nothing but how far the line is deviated from the x-axis, the positive x-axis. That is called slope of the line. But here we have a criteria. So we have a condition. So that is, so precisely you can say based on the theta value you are going to define a slope. That is the actual meaning of the geometrical meaning. That we will get a two case. If theta value is less than 90 degree, okay, not equal, it is strictly less than 90 degree, then the slope will increase when the angle increase. For example, if you have a, if theta going to be 30 degree, then slope may be something. Okay, let's take it as a m1. If theta going to make a 45 degree, then the slope let it be m2. Then m1 will be less than m2. Since theta increase, the slope will also increase. When the theta is less than 90, what will happen if theta go beyond 90 degree? If theta goes beyond 90 degree, then the slope become negative. Then what will happen to the comparison? If theta equal to 100, for example, let's take m1 going to be some minus 2. If I say my theta going to be 130, then what could be my m2 value, which going to be most negative, minus 3. Now compare it, which one going to be greater, minus 2 or minus 3? Minus 2 going to be greater when compared to minus 3. So in this case, when theta increases, the slope will decrease when theta is greater than 90 degree because of the negative sign. If it is positive, then we are fine. So if you increase the angle, then the slope is going to increase. But when it is negative, if you increase the theta, then slope will get decrease. You got the point? How to define a slope based on the line? Everyone? But what do you mean by coordinate? Coordinate wise, how can you define the slope? So coordinate wise, you can define the slope based on the formula. So that is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. The difference between the if you could identify any 2 points, then the difference between y axis and the difference between the x axis ratio going to be the slope. So here it is visible. So the green line will have a negative slope because it go beyond 90 degree, and the blue line have a less than 90 degree. So it has to be positive slope. Okay. So if you know the any 2 points of the straight line, then you will be able to calculate the slope of the given line. Okay. Angle increase, Nitya. If theta is less than 90 degree, okay, if theta increase, then angle will increase, slope will increase. Okay. But if it is theta going to be greater than 90 degree, then then it will be opposite. If theta increase, then the slope will decrease. You got the point, Nitya? Others are clear with this? The slope concept? Okay. Yeah, if theta is 90 plus, then the slope will start to decrease. Tanmay? Okay, good question, Paras. So what will happen if theta goes 180, go beyond the 180? Okay, tell me that. Okay, fine, Vashu. If it is a different question, I will ask you. I'm telling you, right? So Paras asked what will happen if theta goes beyond 180. Then what do you mean by that? So for example, let me take 270. Would that be fine? Which is greater than actually 180. Then the line will come here. Then it will go here. You got it? So if you define a line, either you can easily make it as a with respect to the positive axis. Maybe it may make 270 with respect to here. But if you check from the positive axis, it will be less than 90 degree. You got the point? Everyone? So it is enough to remember if the theta is less than 90 degree or greater than 90 degree. It will fall in between any one of the coordinate. Either it should come from the first quadrant or second quadrant. You can easily identify that. Okay. Yeah, theta equal to 90 degree. Then what will happen? Okay. Then it will be undefined. So there is no difference. For example, if theta going to be 90 degree, then what will be the coordinate? Can you tell me the coordinate? It will be some value of this, right? For example, if it is take it 3, then it is going to be 3 comma 4. I'm going to take one more point, so 2 comma 4. Now find out the value. What is the slope formula? 4 minus 4, sorry, what is the value? It will be 4 minus 2 by 3 minus 3. So what is the answer? 2 by 0. Is that a valid entry? Could you get the value? 2 by 0. What is 2 by 0? In a real number, 2 by 0 is undefined. So we cannot define angle for the line which is parallel to y-axis. No, Vasu, that is extended real number, not infinity. So here we are discussing up to the real number. Okay. So like your calculator, what is your calculator will do up to that? That is we are discussing in the con point. Okay. So if we do 2 by 0, what your calculator will show? division by zero error, right? So it won't be infinity in that case. You got the point? Vasus, Sumit, Shiva, are you clear with this? Okay, yeah, math error. That logic we are have a restriction up to the real number. Hope everyone clear with this, right? No doubt on the slope of the line in terms of theta or in terms of coordinate. Fine, right? Okay. Now, what do you mean by lines? So, if the two lines are parallel, then what will happen? If the two lines are parallel, then the slope will be equal. I will give you the proof why it's supposed to be and how it is look like. And if the two lines are made in such a way that 90 degree, the perpendicular manner, then the product of the slope will be equal to -1. So these are the standard result. Okay. So we may see the problems based on this at the end. Now, so the x-intercept and y-intercept. So x-intercept and y-intercept of the line is nothing but where the line meet the x-axis, where the line meet the y-axis. That is called x-intercept and y-intercept. So you can easily identify to calculate the y-intercept, you need to replace x equal to 0 in the equation. And similarly, to calculate the x-intercept, you need to replace y equal to 0 in the equation. Okay, that will give you the answer. Fine, Darisha, you can join with us. Here the previous slide, Mukesh, make it fast. So the parallel lines will have the equal slope, and if it is perpendicular line, then the product of the slope will be negative. Okay, Mukesh, clear? Okay. So slope of the two line, intersection of the two lines, find, right? Okay, no problem. Now, if it is an equation, how can I say? So mathematically we are representing in a different format, but I would recommend you to learn in a simple way. So to calculate the x-intercept and y-intercept. For example, take this example. So my equation is 2x minus y equal to 3. If I want to calculate what is the x-intercept, what is the y-intercept, substitute the value directly. So to find out the y-intercept, replace x equal to 0. So 0 minus y equal to 3. So simplify, you will get y equal to 3, which implies y equal to minus 3. My y-intercept going to be minus 3. Fine. And similarly, you can calculate x-intercept by replacing y equal to 0. For x-intercept, need to replace y equal to 0, right? Then x will be equal to 3 by 2, which is going to be 1.5. So you can directly substitute and then calculate. You don't need to go with a general format and then you have to identify. You can directly get the value. Okay. And remember, so in GRE we are mostly the time based test, right? So we need not solve all the problem based on the concept. Even though you learn it the x-intercept and y-intercept in the structured format, but always try to go which is the convenient, which is the fastest method to solve these things. Okay. Now let me make it more precise about the linear equation. If you have a linear equation, you can make it as a generalized form. The form is y equal to mx plus c. I hope I'm bringing all of you to your school days. Am I? Isn't it? So most of you been a long time from your school days, right? So these things we have learned in the school days. I know some of you might learn it in a fast way, some of you may have some difficulty even in your school days. But so you no need to worry, no need to think about it hereafter because you are entering into the GRE preparation. There is no room for thinking about those hurdles. Okay, so you need to focus and prepare it. You can easily make it happen. So if you could modify the given linear equation in the form of y equal to mx plus c, then that is called most generalized equation of the line. Not more than 10 standard, Mukesh. So mostly it will cover from the 6 to 10 standard. So aptitude question, right? So you can more precisely say aptitude, but it is a more little bit behind the aptitude. So from usually we make all the aptitude questions like the number problem and so permutation combination and from logical problem, right? So here we are going to beyond certain things. We are discussing geometry and statistics and data interpretation. So those things will come in GRE questions. Okay. So you have to get depth about that. That you can discuss in the next class, Mukesh. Yeah. So y equal to mx plus is a general equation where m represents the slope of the equation or the slope of the line. So the coefficient of x is called the slope of the line. No problem, Mukesh. Okay. So now we will complete the quant part. Fine. Okay. Now tell me, so why I said the equation of the two lines parallel? I told you, right? When they are going to be parallel. For example, let me give you a simple equation, y equal to x. So can anyone tell me what is the quality of the equation? What kind of equation it is? Exactly. Good, Panish. You can interpret in terms of slope. Good. So which is going to be passes through the origin and it will make a 45-degree, right? This line x equal to y equal to x. So this will make a 45-degree. Then what is the slope of the line? So the slope of the line is nothing but 1 because all the values look like this 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. So the slope going to be 1 for this equation. Now I'm going to modify one more equation, 2y equal to 2x plus 5. So what is the slope of this equation? Okay, I need to write it in the form of general equation. So 2x plus 5 by 2. So then I will get, so this is going to be x plus 5 by 2. What is slope? 1. Then what is the quality of this equation? So this equation will be parallel to this line. Similarly, I can generalize. If I add or subtract any value, it will be a parallel to the actual line. So the x minus 1 and x plus 1 will goes like this. So these lines are called parallel lines. That is the quality of the parallel lines. When you make it as a general equation, it will show the coefficient of x going to be equal. Then you can conclude that they are going to be parallel. Naga, which one is 2 by 3? So it is 1. Okay, 5 by 3. This is last one. You got the point? So precisely say for this equation, so any equation x plus c going to be the parallel line. No problem. Okay. Everyone clear with this? Why the lines are parallel when the slopes are equal? So the reason is if you modify in the general form. Okay. Now, so people ask about the constant graph. If you vary the one coordinate, the other coordinate will remain the same. For example, if I have an equation y equal to 3, then what are the value I'm going to take it for x? The y value remain the same. And remember, if you want to plot a line, it is enough to check for 2 points. No need to go with it more than 2 points. If you find the coordinate and also you no need to draw the exact diagram, the rough diagram would be enough to plot the diagram. Okay, rough values like x, y. So if you take minus 1, 0, 1, for all the x value, the y coordinate going to be 3. So that this kind of line is called the constant line, which is parallel to the x axis. Y equal to 3 will be parallel to the axis. Similarly, y equal to minus 3, which will be parallel to the x-axis. Similarly, you can define x equal to 3 and x equal to 4 and so on. Yeah, Vishal, you no need to worry. So this is an introduction class. So we will discuss all the things in our e-classes. Okay, no need to worry about that part. So this is a demo webinar, right? This is a complete class. So in the complete class, you will get all the details about the geometry and each and every topic that we will discuss from the basics. Okay. So here also we are starting from the basics, right, Vishal? So since it might be after a long time you are learning, so it might be you might feel it little hard. But once you started your preparation, you can easily grasp it. Okay, no need to worry about it. Similarly, you can define a constant function. If you see in terms of function, you can call it as a constant function. Okay, precisely you can say which will be parallel to x-axis and y-axis because the only one thing going to be common for all the values of other x coordinate or y coordinate. Now we are getting to the actual concept. Is it necessary to be a straight line? Not necessary. I can plot anything as a function. Okay. So function, what do you mean by function? You're going to define an equation. So it can be anything. Quadratic equation is a function. I can write it x square plus 3x plus 4. It's a quadratic equation. I can define this as a function. Instead of y, I can make it f of x. Then this will be in the form of function. If it is function, we need to discuss two things. One is input, another one is output. Or mathematically, you may call it as a domain and codomain. And more precisely, you can call it as a range. For example, this is called input, possible input for the function. This is possible output for the function. Then you may ask a question, what do you mean by domain and range? Or what is codomain and range? What is the difference between them? It is very simple logic. A domain is possible input, and codomain is bigger sense, and the range is the precise meaning. Okay, so I'm going to say the exact output of the function. For example, if I define my function as a 2x, I'm going to give input as an integer. Then what will be my output? Can anyone tell me what could be my output if I give an integer as an input? Yeah, I agree with that. It may be integer, but what is more precisely you can say? Exactly. The numbers are going to be even numbers. So initially I took integers. I'm getting all the possible value as an integer again, but precisely I can say all the outputs going to be even integers. So that is called my range. I'm making more precise about my output. Everyone got the point? What do you mean by what is the difference between range and codomain? Codomain is the overall general sense about the output, but range is more precise. Okay. Now I'm going to plot a two lines. Okay, what do you mean by the solution of the two lines? Can anyone remember what do you mean by solution? How we solve the two linear equation? We know the simplification method, right? You will equate the one coordinate and then you will write it. But actual meaning of the simultaneous equation, you can call it as a simultaneous equation. So the meaning is where they are going to meet. The meeting point is called solution of the two linear equation. For example, here I have an equation y equal to 3x plus 2, y equal to 6. If you solve algebraically, then you will get 3x plus 2, y equal to x minus 6. You are going to subtract it. Then you will get minus 4x minus 8 equal to 0. Then you will get 4x equal to 8. Then x will be equal to 2. If you substitute this in the equation, then you will get the respective y value. Okay, so that is called solution of the two linear equation. In geometrically, we may say as a the intersection point is called the solution of the two linear equation or two linear line, straight line. Sure, Dhanishu, I can explain you. Everyone clear with this? Okay, Dhanishu ask a question. So I didn't get so this point. What do you mean by range? Difference between range and codomain, right? Dhanush, your doubt is difference between range and codomain. Okay, so I told you, right? So what you can say about the output? If I give integer, my outputs are going to be again integers. Am I correct? But I can say more precisely. If I give 1, I will get 2. If I give minus 1, I may get minus 2. If I give 2, then I will get 4. If you look at the outputs, they won't be an odd number. They will be only even number. So I don't need to say it's an integer because integer will have a odd and even number as well as. But my outputs are going to be only even numbers. So I can precisely say the outputs are going to be even integers. You got the point? Making more precise rather than generalizing the output. Okay, fine. Hope you got what you mean by intersection of the two linear equation, and this is called solution of the equation. If you have a two simultaneous equation, this is called solution of the two linear equation. Okay, so could you solve this equation? 3y equal to minus 12 plus, okay, 84, take it as, and second equation is 5y equal to minus 20x plus 16. What is the solution of the two equation? Can you find the solution? Okay, let me write it precisely here. So this is general equation 84, and here 5y plus 20x equal to 16. Now solve it and give me the what is the solution of the two linear equation? What about others? I didn't get a reply. What happened? You're getting the class, right? Guys, good side. What is others? Have you found the solution of the two linear equation? What are the rest? Okay, it's been 2 minutes. GR, you supposed to solve the question within 2 minutes, right? Palesh, check it once again. Exactly, Sai, you got the point. Sumit, check it once again. Okay. So now I don't want to try to, first I need to identify whether will that solution exist or not. When the solution will exist, when the two lines going to meet at some point, if they are parallel, then what will happen? You can't find a solution, algebraic solution. So I'm going to rewrite this equation in the precise form. Then I will get 3y equal to minus 10. Then modify the first equation, 84 by 3. Then I can write the equation y equal to minus 4x plus some value. Okay, so I think 26, right? Okay, 28. So now modify the second equation. I think my second equation also very similar. 20 by 5 minus 4x plus some 16 by 5. If you compare the two equation, they are parallel. So will you be able to get solution for these two? No, I can't give a solution for this because they won't meet at any point. So you should be very careful when you are going to solve the two linear equation. When the question is asking you to identify the intersection points. Okay. So you can eliminate the choice without solving the question itself. You don't need to solve the equation at all, right? Just a general observation. The parallel line observation will give you the answer. Okay. Okay. And so the equation, the function can be divided into two different categories. That means I can divide my domain into two different categories. For example, let I'm going to define a function f of x. For my in GRE is mostly the domain you can consider as a real number. I'm going to define my function as a 2x when my x is positive value and my 3x when my x is less than or equal to 0. That means what I did here, I'm just dividing my domain, my entire domain minus infinity plus infinity to minus infinity to 0 and 0 to plus infinity. So this kind of function is called a common function. So plotting a linear function by dividing two different input values. For the two different domain value, you're going to define a different functions. So this is mostly related on the function concept. So I just want to give you an introduction about the same also. Okay, clear? What we are doing here, we are dividing the domain into two different sets and we are defining a two different function. But in combined sense, it is called a single function. So the name of the function is compound function. Clear everyone? Good. Now, so what do you mean by quadratic equation? If you plot the quadratic equation, what it will give you? If you plot the quadratic equation, it will show you a parabola. The graph name is parabola. So what is the quality of the parabola? Okay, what are the things you know about the quadratic equation? So what is the quadratic equation? Good. So you will calculate roots of the quadratic equation, right? Okay, what do you mean by roots of the quadratic equation in geometrically? Anyone aware about that? What do you mean by roots of the quadratic equation? Why we are calculating that? What is the help? Okay, maybe yes, you are correct. It's a solution of the quadratic equation. Okay, what do you mean by solution then? Okay, let me tell you. And also we have a imaginary roots. What do you mean by that? Yes, exactly. The line where going to meet the x-axis are called the roots of the quadratic equation. If the parabola meets some point on the x-axis, then it will have a root. But if you have a parabola like this, will it have a root? Yes, it will have a root, but it won't be a real root. It will be an imaginary root. The meaning is it is not meeting the x-axis of the xy plot. Everyone got the meaning? What do you mean by the roots of the quadratic equation? Yeah, exactly, Vishal. For this parabola, you will get a complex root, but that is out of scope of GRE, so we no need to worry about it. So if it is a quadratic equation, the geometrical meaning is where the lines meet the x-axis. Sure, Praveen. I will give you examples also. Okay. So where the line meet the x-axis is called the roots of the parabola. For example, if you plot this equation, you will get the roots of the equation, right? That means that root will nothing but 2 comma 3. So that means the parabola, the lines graph going to meet the 2 and 3 are the coordinate point for the x-axis. You got the point now, Praveen? If you simplify this quadratic equation, you will get x equal to 3 comma 2. Am I correct? So that is nothing but 2 comma 3. Good. Okay, let me make it more precise. And also you can easily identify the vertex point of the parabola by calculating x equal to minus b by 2a and substitute it in the function, main function. You will get the coordinate of the vertex. What is going to be the vertex point of the parabola? What do you mean by vertex? You can either call as a minimum point or maximum point of the parabola. For this case, I can say the vertex x comma y. I can say y is the minimum point of all other points because from here to here the y value keep on increasing. So I can say here for this parabola the vertex point y is minimum. Yeah, exactly, end point. Can you tell me what you can say about this parabola, about the vertex? What do you comment about this vertex? Make it fast. Okay, will that be minimum or maximum? And which point? Good. Exercise. Divya, check it once again. Palesh, Danishma, you got the point. If you check the values, the value of x keep on decreasing from when you move from right to left. Okay, but so minimum or maximum of the vertex will be based on only one coordinate. Okay, so if you check the point, this can be 10. If you check all other points, the value of x going to keep on decreasing. So I can say x going to be the maximum at this point. If you check all other points of the parabola, the x value will be less when compared to this point. This is visualization. If you visualize, you can directly tell it, can tell the value. Okay. Okay, fine. So I'm asking about the what is the peak point? What you can say about the vertex point of the second parabola? Okay, let me give you a question. So we have discussed the concept. Okay, solve this question. So read it carefully and then do your calculation. So here the intersection is nothing but where the 2 points going to meet. Okay, fine, Raghavan. Okay, where the two lines going to meet. So ideally what I said, if the two lines are going to meet like this, at this point both x-axis and y-axis is going to be equal. So I'm going to assume that at some point x, so both the equation going to be equal. So I can equate it and then simplify. Again I got a quadratic equation. Would tell me you are very close. Now I got a quadratic equation. So what do you mean by quadratic equation? I need to simplify to get the roots. Exactly, Brinda, you got the correct answer. Good. Others, you are very close. You have tried really hard. Good. Good, Panish, you got the answer now. Now, how to simplify this? We have a formula to simplify this quadratic equation. Good, Shriram, Harita. No problem, Anshul. You no need to worry. It's a simple logic, but you need to know that, right? You have to learn it. So just use the quadratic equation and simplify. You will get the value. Good, Aisha, your answer is correct. Now I'm getting most of the correct answer. Good. So simplify and substitute. Again, you can ask a question. So if you simplify this quadratic equation and don't rush it, it won't be 2 root. So both the roots are same here. That is 3. The x coordinate going to be 3. And if you substitute the respective x coordinate in the function, you will get the y coordinate for that. Yeah, you can simplify or you can solve it as it is now. Huh? It won't violate the formula. Either you can simplify. If you want to convenient, you can simplify further. Or you can take it as it is. No issue with that. In the quadratic equation. Okay. You got it, Naha? So we got only one root. But what if, okay, we should no problem. So but we are supposed to get 2 roots, right? If it is a quadratic equation. But we are getting only 1 root. Then what do you mean by that? Okay, fine, Palash. Here the previous slide. Okay. That means at only one point the two things going to be get intersect. For example, the graph will be looks like this. At this point, x equal to 3, the two parabola are going to meet. In all other points, it won't meet. Now tell me the answer. How many possible intersections are there for a two parabola? What is the maximum number of intersections can be happen? Make it fast. Infinite. Oh god. 2, 3, 5, 1. Okay. Most of you saying 2. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay. Exactly. Naha, Gaurav, you got the answer. Maximum it is 4-point intersections are possible. So if you look at parabola like this, it give you 2-point intersection, right? If you have a parabola, one is y coordinate, one is x coordinate, then maximum you may get 4 coordinate of intersection. You got the point, everyone? Solve this one. So let me read the question first, make it understand perfectly. So the given diagram is triangle, fine. I have no issue with that. So I know the one of the coordinate AB. What it says? It's an equilateral triangle. Okay, fine. What do you mean by that? All the sides are equal. Okay, that is my first clue. And what is it given in the question? The length of the side of the triangle is 4 centimeter. Okay, I got one more information from the question. Okay, fine. And D is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, the line different distance is always equal. Okay, I'm getting more points now. Then what is the coordinate of the point F? Okay, now tell me the meaning of the line. Exactly, Paridhi, you got the answer. Good. You can make it now, right? So from D to E, what is this? This is a straight line by making a line from the y-axis, like a y equal to 3. So in this I will be able to write the coordinate. What is going to be the coordinate? Will that be any change in the y-axis? No, the y-axis remain the same. Only the a value going to get changed. What is going to be changed? From a to here, it's going to add 4 units. So I'll be able to write it. This is nothing but a plus 4. You got the point? If it is a straight line, the y-axis is going to be constant. Only the x has the variance. So the diagram will be looks like this, which is going to be a plus 4 comma b. Now, what is this? This is an equilateral triangle. I will be able to calculate the height. So I know the formula for that. What do you mean by height here? And remember, for an equilateral triangle, so the straight line which you are going to draw from the midpoint as well as its altitude as well as its angle bisector. Okay, so it will divide the line into 2 equal parts. Harita, we didn't define y value here, right? I just take the value of b. I have assumed the value and then I proceed like that. I will tell you how we are doing the further. Okay, now what I calculated? I have calculated the midpoint. Sure, Rinky, I will do that. So I got the midpoint now. So I need to calculate the distance between the midpoint to the F. So Rinky, it's a very simple question. You have a triangle and the triangle is equilateral triangle. So the side is 4 and the base is parallel to the x-axis. So I'm going to predict the value of F. So before going to that, I'm going to point out what is the midpoint of this line. You got the point, Rinky? What we are doing with this question? That is a question. We are trying to locate the coordinate point of F. So this is the midpoint, this is the coordinate. Again, and you can ask question, why don't we solve it using the square root method? Distance between the 2 points, but it will take more time. If you understand the coordinate geometry logic, you will be able to solve it within a few seconds. Here, this is a line, and if you extend this line, this will be a line like this, x equal to 3 or x equal to 4. Straight line, which is parallel to y-axis. So in such line, the x is invariant. The change going to happen in the y-axis. And how it is going to happen? And if you remember the formula for an equilateral triangle, the height of the equilateral triangle is nothing but root 3 by into a by 2. So this is a direct formula you're supposed to remember. And to crack the GRE question, the ultimate tool is formula. You're supposed to remember all kind of formulas in different angles, different variety. That will help you to solve the question. Now I know the height. Otherwise, what I supposed to do? If I don't know the height, then I need to consider this as a right angle triangle and then I need to calculate it. See, you're supposed to spend 30 more seconds if you haven't remembered this formula. But if you remember this formula, you can save the 30 seconds, right? You can solve it. So nothing issue. This is going to be 4, this is going to be 2. You can calculate height by taking square root of 4 square minus 2 square. But what is convenient? This is more convenient when compared to that. So I can calculate the height, that is 2 root 3. And I told you, right, the only variance going to happen in the B. So B plus 2 root 3 going to be the coordinate point. Okay. You got the point? Everyone clear with the method? Everyone clear with this? Others? Are you clear with this? What happened? Lot of silence. Hope it's clear, right? Then only I can move to the next question. Others? Make an entry. Yes or no? Okay, good, good. Fine, fine. Okay, one more question. The first logic that I'm going to use it. So I have four lines actually. If I plot it, it's going to be four lines. Then immediately I need to verify, are they parallel lines? Are they perpendicular lines or not? If I verify that logic, we'll be able to solve it within a minute. So what is the quality of the first two equation? So by looking at it itself, you can answer it. For your convenience, I just made it more simple. The question may be different. You can rewrite. I just directly gave the value. By seeing itself, you can say these two are going to be parallel lines. What about these two? Again, they are parallel line. It's obvious, right? So actually, I'm going to get two parallel lines, maybe like this, and one more set of parallel lines. So this area I need to calculate the quadrilateral. So how I'm going to plot it? So what I need now, how you have to check your calculation. First, I need the coordinate. Am I correct? Yeah, I need to locate the coordinate. How to locate the coordinate? You can simplify that equation by substituting one by another first, and that also you should be very smartly. You have to simplify. You should not try to simplify these two because they are parallel lines. You cannot find a solution. So you need to simplify the two non-parallel lines. So simplify these two, you will get the coordinate point. That is where the two lines going to meet. Similarly, simplify all other points. You will get the coordinate point and plot it as a diagram. You will get the actual diagram. And remember, no need to draw the diagram scale oriented. It is enough to draw the rough diagram. So here the points are more trivial, right? 0, 4 and 0, minus 4. So these are all you can directly get it from the question itself. Okay. And the only point is you have to calculate using the calculation is these 2 points 4 4 and minus 4 minus 4. Now what is the next step? You need to calculate the area. Again, if you are using the square root method to calculate the distance between the 2 points, you are safe. I say you are safe, but that is not sufficient. You need to learn the coordinate geometry logic, because if you are using the square root method to solve the equation, it will take 30 seconds more. But if you understand the logic, see here, the y coordinates are invariant, the x coordinates are changing. So the difference between the x coordinate going to be the distance. You got the meaning? How to predict the distance when the two lines are straight line and parallel to x-axis and parallel to y-axis? So this is going to be the 4 going to be the base. Similarly, you can find the height. Here you can use the logic again. 0, 4, 0, minus 4. So again, x coordinate is invariant, y is changing. So from here to here it will be 4 unit. From here to here it will be 4 unit. And what is this line? You should not take it this line in general. This is actually a straight line and perpendicular line with respect to the base. So this should be considered as a height. What is the shape of the diagram? Yeah, good question, Aisha. The calculator is allowed in GRE. Yes, you will get an on-screen calculator. With the help of that, you can do the calculation. So you no need to worry about it. Okay. Everyone clear how to solve this question? So you got the height, you got the base. What else we need? That would be enough. You can calculate the area. Not a scientific, Aisha. It's a basic calculator. Okay. The basic calculator would be they will provide an on-screen calculator. You can solve using you can solve it. Okay. So substitute it and calculate the value. It will be 32 units. Good, Ravinder. Yes, you got the answer. Everyone clear with this? Others, are you clear with this? Okay. For this question, we just use only two logic: the parallel lines and the intersection. That would give you the answer. Okay. So like this, we are conducting the classes for each and every topic. So that will cover all the GRE syllabus. So now I'm going to hand over the mic to Mr. Sauro. He will explain about the class. So what is the class? What are the features? What are the criteria will be available? Okay. So that he will explain you in a detailed manner. Sure, Yash, you can ask. What is your doubt? Okay, others? Is it fine, right? So to get a more detail, so just stay back and we will explain each and everything in a detailed manner. So how everything is going to happen. So what are the method we are following? How it is helping you to learn your concept. Those things we are going to tell you. Okay, just stay back. So Mr. Saurabh will give you the clear view about the program and what are the instructions that you need to follow. Yeah, so it is a usual. So if you take 4 out of 10 students will have this difficulties. So the only thing is you need to prepare yourself along with the practice and the mental ability. If you prepare your mental strength, so based on you're going to face the exam, you can easily overcome out of those kind of tension things. Okay, no need to worry about it. Okay, so speed is a simple matter. So at the end of the preparation, if we have the style test, we are providing the style test that will help you to improve your speed. But we suggest first make your concept clear. You're supposed to be in a position to answer any kind of question, whatever it is asking. Respective to the speed, first you need to make yourself with your concept. Once you are clear with the concept, the practice question will help you to improve your speed. Speed is a very simple thing. I will give you the guarantee. If you are clear with your concept, you'll be able to solve the question. If you have a 3 minutes, then by practice you can make it as a 1.5 minute. It is possible. We have a students, those who achieve it. So initially you will have a difficulty with your speed, but no need to worry about it. Okay.